It's an incident that Nigerians are still coming to terms with. The reported bombing of a community in Ran, Kalabalge area of Borno State. At the House of Representatives, the matter is being considered as a motion of urgent public importance. The sponsor of the motion gives more information on the matter.
That the incident was not a deliberate act of targeting, nor a hostile act on the civilian population, whose lives it had the duty to safeguard and protect.
Lawmakers who contributed to the lengthy debate that followed described the incident as a sad development that must be investigated.
Our heart goes to the people whose relatives have lost their lives. But it's a wake-up call for all of us as Nigerians to begin to look at critical issues when things like this happen.
It's only the investigation of this house that will convince Nigerians that this thing was really an accident. We have to investigate and ascertain that it was actually an accident.
The quality of intelligence gathering within the security agencies and their operations needs to be looked at carefully. It only means that there is problem in their intelligence gathering, analysis, and then the response that has happened.
I would urge that we should not just throw our hands in the air and say it's a mistake. It does happen everywhere. If it does happen, what do we then do to forestall such an occurrence again?
The House resolved to send a 10-man committee to visit the scene and assess the situation on ground. A minute's silence was also observed in honor of those who lost their lives in the incident.
And may the souls of the departed rest in perfect peace.
And in a bid to understand the true security situation in southern Kaduna in view of the recent attacks in the area, the House of Representatives has resolved to meet with all security chiefs in the country. This followed a motion by Rep. Gideon Gweni in a motion he titled "The Violent Attacks on the People of Kaura Federal Constituency of Southern Kaduna by Unknown Gunmen." Lawmakers observe that a large number of people are said to have lost their lives in continued attacks, despite the presence of officials of the armed forces.
The House notes with grief the violent attacks on the 6th to 9th January 2017, which led to the death of 13 people. Also notes that despite the 24 hours curfew imposed in the area and the presence of men of the armed forces and the police, gunmen continued to attack villages and unleash mayhem, while the security personnel deployed remained in the township. Recalls the resolution of Wednesday, June 24, 2015, in which the House urged the executive arm of the federal government to set up a high-powered committee to comprehensively address the incessant killings in Kaduna State and other parts of the country, which has not been complied with. The House do resolves urge the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces to direct the Nigerian Armed Forces and the police to deal decisively with perpetrators of the attacks, be more proactive in identifying the exact areas of the attacks, and carry out a comprehensive security mapping to identify the base of the attackers in order to combat the menace.
Now, last week, the House had summoned the Inspector General of Police to appear unfailingly before one of its committees. This week, he appeared before the committee. Let's take that report.
The House of Representatives is urging the Police Service Commission to investigate reports that over 3,000 policemen who died in active service are yet to be paid their entitlement. A lawmaker from Lagos State, Representative Ogene Ego, said insurance companies were not paid any premium and so refused to pay the claims of the officers. The lawmakers agreed that the issue is capable of demoralizing the officials of the police force if it is not addressed.
The House notes the revelation by the Nigerian Police Force that the entitlement of over 3,000 police personnel who died in active service over the years have not been paid to their relatives. The House also knows
that the reason for the non-payment of the entitlement is that insurance companies were not paid premium to cover the police personnel. Concerned that the dependent relatives of the deceased personnel have been suffering immense hardship as a result of non-payment of entitlement, leading to their inability to pay their rent, school fees for their children, and difficulties in feeding and provision of necessity of life for their people, which are making them to face harsh economic situation in the country. Conscious of the demoralizing effects of the non-payment of entitlement of personnel who died in line of duty on this still in active service, who are ready to put their lives online to protect lives and properties of citizens.
The House has also called on the Inspector General of Police to ensure the cost of settling the families of the late police officers is included in the next budget. Meanwhile, after the ultimatum given to the Inspector General of Police to appear before the committee of the House of Representatives or face a warrant being served to compel his appearance, the police chief appeared on Thursday to meet with the committee. He met with the committee behind closed doors, and when he did appear after the meeting, he refused to answer any question. However, the chairman of the House Committee on Police Affairs explains what was agreed in the meeting.
What we did now, since the IG has respectfully honored the invitation of the House, after the resolution of the House that the IG should appear today, 2 o'clock, before this honorable committee, which he did. Looking at the sensitivity of the issue, at stake is a security-related issue. We now, as a committee, ask the IG to submit or to send his head of departments that were affected by those issues, then to interface with the committee and now report back to the committee of the whole.